Alright, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to have our oven preheated at 425. We're going to keep the 425 for all the things that we're doing. Then we're going to clean the salmon. I'm using salmon. You can use any type of fish that you want. I'm using lemon as my choice to clean it. You can use vinegar. Some people choose to use vinegar, but I prefer not because sometimes the vinegar has a taste in the fish. So I'm using lemon. I also want to point out that when you buy fish from the store, sometimes they don't properly clean it, so you want to make sure that you scale the fish. So what we're going to do is once you soak it, it makes it so much easier for you to clean the scale off, and you're going to just use a knife, or I prefer using a knife, and scale, using it to peel the scales away. As you can see in the water, by picking up the fish, you see all those scales that came off of there. Alright, once your fish is all cleaned up, we're going to season it up. I'm using dry rubs, so I'm using Old Bay, and I'm using the McCormick's Grill Mates, the bourbon brown sugar. And then I'm also going to use this Devil's Jewel hot pepper. It's made with habaneros. You can use cayenne, but I'm using this as a different type of pepper. Then we're going to cover it up. I'm using foil to cover it up to let it marinate. You can use saran wrap if you choose. Alright, while the fish is marinating, I'm going to peel and wash and cut up the vegetables that I'm using. I'm using carrots, asparagus, and squash. We're going to bake it all in the same dish. I'm using a big glass baking dish. I'm using regular carrots, so I just peel them in, well, cut them in half. These are all organic vegetables, which makes them taste so much sweeter. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt and a little bit of black pepper only on the squash and asparagus. If you want, you can choose to use honey on the carrots. My girls like the flavor of the honey, so I drizzle it a little bit on some of the carrots and rub it in. Alrighty, once you have that all done, you're going to cover your vegetables, put them in the oven. Again, it's set at 425. I'm not poking any holes in there because I want the veggies to steam really well, so keep it covered, seal it around nice and snug. Then we are going to go back to our fish. I'm using coconut oil. As you can see, I'm using just a little bit of coconut oil just to glaze the pot with that. You can use coconut spray, but I find that the coconut oil is a little bit better when doing the fish for it to not stick. I'm going to put the fish face down. I'm not going to put it on the other side yet. This way you get to brown and your fish gets a nice good color. Again, my flame is about at medium for here. I'm going to put them all in there. And pretty much once I've put all the fish in, by the time I've done all of that, I leave it in there for maybe like 2 minutes or so. Then I'm going to flip it. Again, I'm not trying to burn the fish. So I'm going to flip it over, and once I flip it over, it's just going to stay on that side, which is pretty much the scale side. Then what I'm going to do is cover the pot, let it steam. But before covering it, I noticed that the fish does not sprout a lot of water. So that marinade that I used, once I had the fish in there, I'm going to just pour that into the pot here prior to covering it. And then cover it up, let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm also going to turn down the flame. And you can see right here that I poured it in. So it's just pretty much what was left in the saucepan after I had took the fish out. Cover it up, let it cook. Fish doesn't take that long. You want it to be nice and juicy. You don't want to be dried out. So again, turn down your flame. Then we're going to go back to our veggies. By the time I'm finished with the fish, my veggies should be almost done. Take them out. Boom, everything's ready to eat. And this meal should take about 15 to 20 minutes or so, and that's it. And here we have what's on your plate: salmon, carrots, asparagus, and some squash. I hope you guys enjoy.